hello. Say hello. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the kisses. Take my glasses off. That might be helpful, Sarah. Hello, people of the interwebs. My name's Sarah and welcome to my channel. So this video is going back to kind of what I was doing before. I'm going to be doing a television review. Now, I know I am like 3 weeks late, so I'm sorry I've not caught up till now, but because I have caught up, I've decided to do a review. Now, you're all probably wondering, what the hell is Sarah on about? I'm going to be reviewing the new series of Doctor Who. See, my dad got me into Doctor Who when it first came back, Christopher, and then I fell in love with it with David. Matt Smith was just like a puppy in space, and Peter Capaldi. I did follow it, not as much because I was at uni and I don't want to pay for the BBC stuff, so. But now I'm at home again, I'm watching it again. When the first series with Jodie came back, I watched it again with an open eye. Open eye? Open mind? Open mind. Open mind. New showrunner, new doctor. I kind of felt like the series deserved to start again, like, not start again's wrong, start afresh. So I was very excited to see what they did. I fell in love with Jodie's doctor and just the quirkiness of Jodie's doctor, and every first series has kinks, it has to work out. So that's why I'm rewatching it again, series 2, blah blah blah. Intro out the way, let's actually talk about the episode. Skyfall. I've literally just sat down and watched it downstairs with the dog. I have notes on my phone, because I'm that person. Shall I get into it? I forgot how much I missed Jodie's doctor. I've always had a love for Jodie's doctor. She just kind of, how do I describe it? It's kind of the quirky things she says and how she acts and how she reacts to stuff. I'm quite glad the whole her being female isn't being like rammed down our throats. Yes, there's still odd comments because that's going to happen, but I felt like a lot of season 1 was her being like, oh, I'm a female, ha ha ha, but now she's back to being the doctor. Like, I see her as the doctor. And I think people now see her as the doctor as well, that it doesn't matter about gender, which I thought was really good. I'm forever going to be in love with the way she talks though. The fact that she'll walk off into like take this episode for instance, when they got to, oh, my dog just left me, oh, I feel abandoned. Anyway, when they got to O's house and they were going to go inside, she just kind of yattered off about living in Africa, or Australia, sorry, for ages, just as the scene cut, and it's just small things like that just make me absolutely love her. Now, the best thing I felt about this episode was they were going with the spy theme, and they absolutely nailed the spy theme. It took me a while to get into it. I was like, who the hell is this Silver Surfer dude trying to kill people on planes and all these weird places, going through like walls and ceilings. It was like the Silver Surfer. I have a suspicion about what they are because of another episode, like one of David Tennant's episodes, but I don't know if I'm just imagining things like Cybermen. You know how they were ghosts for a bit and they were all silver? That's what I'm thinking. I might be wrong, I've not seen the episode. I will be watching the episode part 2 after this. But that is my first theory kind of thing about that. The introduction back to the companions was really nice. You kind of saw them all kind of in the way we got introduced to them the first series. You got Ryan, then you got Yaz, then you got Graham. I like the fact that all their friends and family were talking about how they kept just disappearing, and now they've actually decided they're going to go travelling and they're packing for it and they're getting ready to go. They're actually, it's kind of one of those, they're not just disappearing. They kind of did that with Rose in her series, that she disappeared for a bit and then she kind of decided, oh, I'm going travelling. It's kind of a, I don't know if it's just me looking into it, being like, it's kind of the companions going there 100%, like they're with the Doctor 110% now. Their families won't, they're not the families won't be worried, but the families know they're away, so if they're away for a long period of time, it's just less drama at home kind of thing. While the introductions were happening, I especially loved Yaz's dad in the background trying to get Alexa to work. It's such a stupid thing to make me giggle, but absolutely made me giggle. It was just one of those small things that they're having all these arguments about her still being on probation with the police. I absolutely love that Yaz is in the police. and their dad's just in the background having a full-on dad moment with Alexa. Yeah, so all the companions got introduced in their own individual way, which I think was needed because we saw them so much into the series as a group, and I think just an individual introduction again is the best way to it. And then I liked that it was just this ominous black car, guys in suits, men in black style coming to pick them up, kind of starting this spy theme that's kind of all the way through this episode. The Doctor's introduction, of course, was absolutely fabulous. An MOT of the TARDIS, and then her talking about draining the waters in like the rainforest. The more they talk about the random rooms in the TARDIS, the more you just are like, I know it's bigger on the inside, but there's a swimming pool, there's a rainforest. It's just, was it karaoke buses she said as well? And you're just kind of like, what? So all the companions and Doctor have been picked up. We're there. They're in a car. The awkward silence is imminent. You can tell. And the fact that the Doctor's main priority is like, how are yous? Are yous okay? You know, apart from being kidnapped. The minute she said that, I was like, we're back in the game. We're back with our people. And it seems that the showrunners, I like the fact they wanted to start the show off with a bang. And the most epic thing that you ever see in any spy movie is the car chases. But this time the car kind of got taken over, which kind of starts our theme of technology and this kind of thing, and it introduces us to the next layer of bad guy? Bad guy. We have our Silver Surfer, then we have our bad guy, which I'll get into when I talk about it. It's the beginning of the episode. Sat-Nav takes over. We think the companions and stuff are gonna die. It's the beginning of the episode. We know they're not. We know the Doctor's gonna be fine. And then we get introduced to Stephen Fry, or M. He'll always be Stephen Fry though. Come on. He, of course, works for MI6, and this is when the whole spy theme comes into motion. The Doctor is needed for a mission because spies are being picked off around the world from different agencies, and we don't know why. So clearly there's some like global domination thing going to happen, and they don't believe in aliens, but when they examine it's the woman from the Japan flight, I didn't get her name, I'm so sorry, we find out that she has no DNA. So she's literally a shell of a human being, which I thought was a very interesting way to introduce an alien, like a spy alien, because you know spies, they are one of these people that you're meant to just never see. They're just people in the crowd. They do such important stuff, like in literature and in the media, the way spies are portrayed, that the fact they have no, that's kind of like the goal. They don't want to exist. They want to exist but not exist. So the fact they have a shell of a human with no DNA is a very interesting alien concept to go with a spy theme. I really appreciated that. I don't know if that's just me. I'm waving my hands about a lot. It's weird to do a video again. Sorry. We've been introduced to the aliens, and then of course the Doctor knows someone from MI6 because obviously the Doctor. A guy called O. So we now find out that M, Stephen Fry, has fired O. They have lost his location. However, of course, the Doctor WhatsApps him, as you do. To be honest, if it was any other Doctor other than Jodie's, I don't think they'd get away with that. She's at just that level of quirky where doing that kind of WhatsApp, saying kisses are very French, it's the only kind of thing Josie's, gosh, I've been watching Legacies, Jodie's Doctor could get away with, and I do appreciate it. It's one of those, it doesn't take out the scene, but it does make a really intense scene less, just a little bit of comic relief, a breather moment before the next intense thing happens. And talking about intense things, they kill the head of MI6. These alien creatures that I think are Cybermen. Watch this, you'll see me in my second video being like, they are not Cybermen. But at the moment, that's what I'm getting vibes from. All the electricity stuff, the ghosts from the Torchwood stuff with David Tennant and Rose. That's where I'm getting these Cybermen vibes from. They kill M. The guy's obviously hiding the TARDIS, but this is the bit that really freaked me out. It was in the trailers, so I don't know why it freaked me out, but they actually got almost got into the TARDIS. Like the way these ghosts are working, they're going through walls and stuff. And it comes later on when they're talking about the map and things, and I'll talk into my theories then. I'm trying to do the episode chronologically, but like, it's like they got into the TARDIS somehow, and I have a theory as to why, but I'll talk about it in a bit. But it's very scary because the TARDIS is meant to be our safe space, the Doctor's safe place, the like companion stuff. The angels couldn't get into the TARDIS, but these creatures almost could, and that's it is very worrying, but absolutely fascinating at the exact same time, because you're going and we're like, ooh, new aliens, new technology, someone to defeat the Doctor? Another thing we'll get into later on. During this talk with the head of MI6, I forgot to talk about this, we find out about VOR and David, looking at my notes, Victor? David, I'm just going to call him David. He is like, his company is more powerful, that's the word I'm looking for, more powerful than countries. This is because like technology, there's people in the governments that don't understand technology, so they go to external sources, and it was a very plausible explanation to why someone was so powerful. Yeah, we have all this information. We know about O, who is in Australia, and we know about David and this company. So what the gang do is they split up, and we get to see the different adventures that are happening. And what I like about these companions especially, I mean, I know you had Donna and everyone who was very independent and they did their own thing as well, but these companions do go off and do separate things. Yes, they work great as a team, but they work well as a team as in like Yaz and Doctor, Yaz and Ryan, Yaz and Graham. You know what I mean? Like, it's different. I love Yaz. I don't know if you know understand. I love all the companions, but I like the fact that individually they work well as a team as well. So Yaz and Ryan are on this spy mission. I'm going to start with that part because it's like intertwined and it's ugh. So I'm going to start with Yaz and Ryan, then I'll go into Graham. My cat is somewhere, I hear her. There she is, she's just walked in the room. The Doctor in this series isn't confined to Britain or London, and I think that makes it for a more realistic Doctor Who, that when she's conquering a worldwide phenomenon, an enemy, that she is working with worldwide range, like going to America, going to Australia, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those, I always loved Doctor Who being very British, but now we are such a open and wide world, and there's so much happening around the world and we all know about it communication wise, and we're just such a global citizenship now. I like the fact that the Doctor Who now has a global reach as well, and they're going to different places and they're not scared to set their story in other places, and it just shows that the UK, that the BBC also has the budget to do that, and they believe in the show, which that was a weird tangent, but it's just nice to see. Anyway, so Yaz and Ryan are posing as undercover as a journalist and a photographer, and I really liked Ryan's little nervousness at the very beginning of this. It was very realistic, and the way they played it off was very good as well, because obviously when they meet this David guy, he is very imposing, he is very scary, and he's rightly meant to be, because he is portrayed as one of our main antagonists of this episode. Obviously this switches. So they meet him, Ryan's very nervous, and they start doing some interesting stuff. So obviously they have all this weird spy gear, and and they start doing this interview. And one of the spy things that they have is Yaz has something that can look at his DNA, and Ryan has something that can copy like security badges and stuff. So obviously Yaz, we find out through Yaz's DNA sticky thing that he is only 93% human, which is strange. You'd think he'd be 100% human. But with these DNA erasing alien things around, it kind of works. You kind of question what's going on there. There's a lot of stuff to do with DNA and if you're human or if you're not. There's a lot of questions going on at the moment with that. But anyway, so this is a spy episode. They sneak away and they decide to do some undercover investigations. So they sneak back at night and they actually download his computer system. And there's a big high intense moment which the minute Yaz pointed out the CCTV system, I was like, oh, he's gonna come back in. I don't know if it's just like, these are typical beats that you know have to happen because spies, but the minute that happened I was like, oh gosh, it's going to happen, and I wasn't surprised when it happened. Thankfully they got away, woohoo. But then what happened next was we find out that David is in cahoots with these Silver Surfer alien things, but you don't know, I don't know if he's in charge or if they're in charge, because it's a weird dynamic that's going on. Clearly they're using his reach and network to take over the globe, because obviously his company has ties everywhere. I think it's hinted that it's in the military, it's in everyday phones, you know what I mean, like it's everywhere. So they're definitely using him, but he's definitely must be getting something back out of this, but we haven't been told what yet. That happens and Yaz gets taken by these alien things after David leaves. She finds herself in this void of places with like trees, with, it's almost like electricity zapping down. It's really cool but really spooky at the same time. I was like, oh no, they're gonna have to get Yaz back. That was really quickly resolved, which I thought was a bit anticlimactic, and I'll explain why. Now we go to Graham and the Doctor. Blah. Graham and the Doctor have come to Australia and they meet for someone whose location has been off book for years, suddenly the Australian government have agents outside for him. That was something I didn't understand. Like MI6 didn't know where he was located. The Doctor only found out because picture information. There's a lot of spy stuff in here and it's really interesting and cool. But like I was a bit, the minute I saw those security guards I was like, how come it took the Doctor analysing a picture to get it, a picture of a fish, but the Australian government knew straight away where he was? Bit weird. I absolutely loved the character of O until the big reveal, but I absolutely love the big reveal as well. But just O as the character he was portraying, the adorable sweetheart that was O, he was so excited about the TARDIS and he was just like, he was so like, I just wanted to protect him. He was just so genuine and kind and he just had this like nature to about him, and I was just like, you are adorable and we need to protect you. Then the reveal happened and I actually screamed. I have not been on Twitter, so this was actually not spoiled for me somehow. But yeah, we'll get to the reveal then. But yes, we go to Oates and we find out that he is the one member of the government that believed in aliens, and he has all this information on aliens, and we soon find out that he has for ages set up this like big security system around his house, and it's this when it gets to the night time there's this like horror movie moment, so he has all these movement cams and lights, and I don't know, just that whole sequence, you knew the Doctor had brought something, but that whole sequence was filmed amazingly. I absolutely was like on the edge of my seat. The cinematography in the series is just amazing as it is, but it's just, they used what they had to their advantage and they used the fear of the unknown so well in this sequence. And then obviously we reveal these big glowy bulb things, the Silver Surfer bulb things. They obviously attack the security guards because they were like red jumpers, and then they start surrounding the house and we find out about this electricity field that he has, and that works to get them away apart from one, and they actually manage to trap one of these things who actually starts communicating with the Doctor because it's the Doctor, and we find out that their ambition is to take over the universe. So we're now at that point in Doctor Who, we're just taking over the Earth. No one wants to do. They want to take over the entire universe, which is kind of from 0 to 3000. Big steps. Big steps. At least when the Daleks wanted to take over, they said the galaxy. You know what I mean? Like, the universe is big. There's a lot to take over for one person. There'll be a lot of rebellions to try and like... I'm overthinking this, but I just thought it was a big leap. If you hear sneezing, my cat is down here and she's kind of got a wee cold at the moment. So if you hear sneezing, it's my cat slowly dying. And I mean that in a loving way. Anyway, yeah, so he takes what O describes as a suicide pill, and he kind of absorbs all this energy and electricity, and I don't know how to describe it, like they swap place with Yaz. So this, we got Yaz back, woohoo! This causes like, I think a bit of a really good emotional moment for Yaz in the next scene, where she kind of talked to Ryan about how when the guy took her she thought she had actually died and she was alone and she'd been left, and it was one of those heartbreaking moments where I kind of, it just made me really appreciate Yaz and Ryan's friendship, because you don't see a lot of female-male friendships on TV and TV and film without them going romantic, and I don't see that there. I mean, I'm sure people do ship it, but I don't, and I really appreciate the friendship that they're bringing and they're building, and it's just one of those, I really enjoy it, and it's just a different level of relationship which I don't think many shows like to explore, so it was really appreciated by me. That was the lull moment of the episode, and now it's just non-stop from here. So obviously Yaz and Ryan got themselves invited to David's birthday party, so they actually all suit up, which causes me to have the most adorable moment about going into the TARDIS, and it was so cute. Anyway, they're all suited up, and when I say suited up, I mean they're in suits. And Jodie's doctor in his suit is adorable, which causes her to have a James Bond moment, and I really appreciated it. I mean, if you're going to do spies as a theme, you need to have a James Bond moment. So they're all at this fancy party, and it's definitely like casino themed, and they're all playing the games, and we had another Josie doctor moment where she played Snap, and it was such a light-hearted moment considering what they were aiming to do at that party. It was really nice. So then they confront David, who obviously denies everything but then runs away, causing yet another chase scene to happen. The guys on the motorbikes and David in his car shooting at them. I mean, it was nice to see an actual human gun instead of like lasers or something, but I was a bit like, okay, it isn't like a spy, it isn't a spy chase scene if there's not someone shooting at someone. And I really like the fact that Yaz was like, yeah, this is a really down day or something like that. Like, the Doctor's adventures can be wild and lots of stuff can happen. You get in a chase scene like from a spy film, it's not the worst thing that could happen. You could be getting killed by Daleks, you know what I mean? I forgot about the coordinates thing. Before they go to the party, they kind of go through David's computer and they find some alien language in his laptop, and what we see is when they decode it is, this is where I'm coming from with the Cybermen. What we find out is there's lots and lots of different Earths, and I have just watched the crossover event with all the DC TV shows, so I know about parallel Earths, so that's where my brain went to, and we do know there was a load of Cybermen on a parallel Earth where Rose got stuck. So who's to say they are not coming back over again? Because remember, that's how they came over the first time. The watch opened a void in the sky and cracks happen and parallel Earths. We know they exist in Doctor Who. So that's where my brain's coming with them. They find themselves at an air hangar. Now we find out that David does own his own air hangar. This happens during the interview. It's not like new information. They foreshadowed it before. And we see him get on the plane, and then we also see the guys getting on the plane. Now this is where the Doctor clicks about O not being who he's meant to be. O claims he's not a sprinter, yet she has read his file and he is. And this causes the big reveal of the series, I'm assuming, and I think the introduction to the big antagonist of, if not this series, maybe multiple. O is really the master, and oh my god, after we had Missy, I was so excited to find a master that Jodie's doctor would go against, and I am not disappointed. Oh, they're dynamic. He is a great master. His laugh was so spooky, by the way, and he is in so much control. And the fact that like there was a bomb, like the Doctor could not defuse it, and it went off, and then he took the Doctor and he's left the companions, and what a cliffhanger to leave the episode on. And oh my god. Oh, But obviously I know everyone's gonna be okay, there's part 2, but it was just such a... I'm so happy they're introducing him again, and it's kind of one of those questions where you're just kind of like, I can't wait to see more of him, because just that small glimpse of him as the Master, he was adorable as well, I will give him that. But like the glimpse of the Master and the control he had, but also it was kind of Joker-esque, where he is in so much control, but he's also got so much chaos around him that you're kind of like, whoo, this is a dangerous character, but I'm so fascinated to see what he does. Like, he's so captivating, and like, oh, I'm so excited for the next episode. Anyway, that was my rambles about the first episode of Doctor Who. I will be back after I've watched the second one, which I'm literally about to do once I've signed off this video. Please tell me your thoughts in the comment section below, and please subscribe to my channel. If you have any more TV shows you'd like me to review or talk about, or any books or anything, please leave them also in the comments below. And I will see you in my next episode, next video. Bye! Mwah!